Greetings, everyone. This will really be an extension, or I intend mostly for this to be an extension of the most recent collective reading that I did regarding the astrological storm that we are currently in, that I believe is really just going to crescendo into a bigger and bigger and bigger thing until really this is the new norm. And I've I've been feeling into a lot of many different energies, actually, to be honest. A lot of different points are flying through my mind that I felt called to present in this live, which I don't intend on being too long. And I had thought that I was going to do a card pulling kind of thing for this, but I think I'd just like to speak, say my thoughts, obviously always invite a discussion. If anybody has anything that they might be feeling about this astrological transit, please do let me know. This was, again, just to re-lotion my intention onto the body of this work that I'm doing. I'm not just lying stuff at you. I'm trying to get a conversation, even a debate, even critique if it is that you have some. Let me know. I'm not the only one, and I'm not on a ground above everybody else. We are all in this shit together. So, again, an extension of the live reading that I previously did, which I will link in the description of this live stream. Things are so intense. I'm even tired of using that word, but I don't know how else to describe the concentrated amount of energy that we are experiencing right now, that is very much like this is not I feel called to say it's not normal. This is different. We are in a very different reality. We are treading very different waters. There are different perspectives and experiences flying right past us, over us, in front of us, under us. There's a lot going on right now. What specifically drew me to do this channeling today is my noting. All right. Again, this is something that I'm opening for discussion. But I'm understanding these energies and these frequencies, whatever the fuck, they are affecting us physically. There is something, to my understanding, there is something drastically changing about the cells of our body. Again, I'm no scientist, right? So I can't really corroborate this with any actual research. I wish I could. I really wish I could. But all I've got now is what I'm feeling, thinking, seeing, according to what other people are talking about. David Clements, who's been talking, he has multiple chats on this. He has a Substack. I believe it is a Substack that he has. Oh, sorry, no, it's a, I forgot what that other one is called. But anyway, I'll link the David Clements discussions. I'll link a random one in the description, and then you can go down a rabbit hole of your own and really pay attention to what he's talking about via the energetics, how what's happening is influencing us, how we are able to influence what's happening. You know what I mean? The living relationship that we have with our living experience. It's very real. It's very present. That understanding that we are energy bodies, we are consciousness. Hey, Pearl. We are consciousness that can affect matter. That shit is getting realer and realer and realer by the fucking day. So as an extension of that as well, extension of many things, I believe that our bodies are changing on a cellular level, and these changes can be very, very, very heavy on our physical bodies. I said this in the last reading. So that I really hope and I really employ everyone. This was the most important part of this channeling. Please keep up with your spiritual hygiene. Please do everything you can to keep your mind and your heart space adequately connected and focused. You know what I mean? With all of everything that's happening right now, it feels like the distractions are going to be monumental. And I'm not just talking about the usual TV, social media, wada distractions. I'm talking about the devil, so to speak, Satan, and the way that the triggers can come up. They can come up. I'm imagining us walking on a path, focusing on our intention, and triggers coming left and right, distractions left and right, random, really random, what may be perceived as unnecessary occurrences where we're constantly asking ourselves, why is this happening? Why is everything going so wrong in this moment? It feels like there's a lot of that's going to come up, and I really, really hope that you can remember, thanks to the tools that you know you have, right? I hope that you can remember that none of it is personal. I hope you can remember to detach a little bit and become the observer of the experiences of the things that may go awry. This again is not, absolutely not to instill fear in you. There is nothing to be afraid of. And that the mere assumption that there is something to be afraid of is part of the distraction. You know what I mean? The doubt, the very human, the human base level shame and guilt that they have managed to channel so brilliantly within our psyche that we're convinced that certain ways of being in fear and feeling guilt and shame are standard. These are the programmings that are leaving us, essentially. These are the programmings that are being scrubbed away from our psyches and from our living experiences. But that scrubbing is painful, right? You scrub enough at a spot, the skin goes red and warm and hot. But it has to happen, you know? This process is necessary. Staying afloat has so much to do with your intention and with the hygiene that you apply on keeping your energy clear. Do everything you can. It feels so important, like stressful, like I could grab your shoulders and say, please, 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 with a desperation, please don't forget to do your spiritual practices. Please don't forget to pray, to meditate, to hydrate, to pray over a glass of water and place it in your home to protect your home. Please don't forget to pray prayers of protection over yourself and over people that you love. Please pray for people you love. It feels like there are so many of us in these pools of distractions and problems that seem so much bigger than our ability to find the solution, that not enough people feel like they even have the time to pray. And that's why I'm pleasing, because you couldn't, there are no words to describe how important all of these perceived trivial rituals are. It is a huge deal when someone says they're going to pray for you, or when you say you're going to pray for someone else. It's gigantic right now. It means so much, so much. Please keep that up. I'm receiving now something about sleep dreaming. The dreams, it feels like they might not make sense. It feels like we are all privy to prophetic dreams. It feels like we're all going to be able to do some level of prophetic dreaming at this point. Not to say that you must sit strictly and like take note of every single thing, because really some things aren't going to make any fucking sense. But there are, the symbols are there, the pattern, yes, the great big pattern. That's something that was also weighing on me as I wanted to channel this message. There is a pattern playing out in your life. I believe that this is true for every single one of us. There is one big fat pattern that revolves, that centers around a very big emotional point of shame for you. For you can look at astrologically. If you need help in understanding it, try to find your chart and look at where your Chiron placement sits. Mine, for example, sits in Libra in the 7th house. So my wounding and my place and point of shame sits in the ability to relate, not just to other people, but to my own self and my own life. My great big pattern has been triggered around this specific thing, around the wounding of being able to relate to my life and to others, and to trust that I am in a loving relationship with the other, not just other people, the other as in God, as in my own self. So that's been a very main thing. That's been my pattern, and it's been loud. We've been working on this for a very long time. You can trust that by now you have everything you need to notice it. You don't have to look too hard. And normally it happens, normally the messaging and the points of poking when the pattern is when the pattern is alive and it's pulsing in your life in front of your eyes, it normally pokes right at your heart. It will hurt extra bad. It'll be extra sensitive. It'll be something where that will make you want to, there's the pattern. Try to catch it immediately. Well, not immediately. I feel a sense of urgency with this because energetically it feels like if we can just get this right, it feels like we're climbing a ladder. And if we can just be brave enough or aware enough, present enough to be able to choose to slide down and be brave, be brave, be present enough to be brave. We're going to slide down and we're just going to keep going. And yeah, it's part of the energy that I think I was tapping into maybe like 2 readings ago, where I was just really, really excited. Hi, Moya too. I was really, really, really excited about an oncoming thing, about achieving a greatness. Hello, it's me again. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to see everybody's comments. It feels wonderful, the interaction. Thank you. Yeah, that made me really excited. Anyway, it feels like we're really, really close. It feels like we're so close. And I feel like I've been saying this for months, but it feels like it's closer and closer and closer and closer. And, I was watching a David Clements video. That'll be the one then, I guess, that I link in the description, where David was talking about the teams that he was tapping into, the energy that he speaks and works with, was saying that something about this December, there's going to be a wave he didn't use these specific words, so I'm going to try to find it now on the spot. But I think we've all been feeling it. These waves of intense awakenings, realizations, emotional impulses. They aren't always joy. Sometimes they're of deep, deep sadness, which is also a medicine. I hope we also realize that by now, that the deep waves of depression and hopelessness and feeling lost, they're also medicine. That's light. It's just inverted. But anyway, there's a huge wave of that's going to be felt on more of a collective level come December. And it feels like we are preparing ourselves on as many layers as possible to be able to receive it and transmute it properly. This now, I'm revisiting the thing I mentioned at the beginning of this reading about how all of this is really affecting our physical bodies. Don't take your spiritual work for granted. It feels like we are in a season, because of this intensity, we are in a season of really deeply unfortunate ailments, deaths. Again, not to fearmonger. There is nothing to be afraid of. Just keep up with your shit. That's it. That's all you have to do. And then surrender. If any ailment should happen upon you, any death happen in your community, know that it's part of the story. It happens to all of us. It's part of the deal of reincarnation, of living in this life. Death, illnesses, they happen. But nothing is bigger than you. And God bless, we all return to God. Just keep that in mind always. It feels like there will be a lot of that. Grief, ailments, death, sicknesses. just major crises that on the surface will obviously, very naturally, because we are human beings, be experienced as a deep crisis. As someone who has gone through deep crises of my own, and I'm sure you have as well, as someone who's watching, we're all human. Crisis is the deal. You know how you handle crisis. I can't even say, oh, just try to breathe, just try to center yourself, just try to have faith. I can't tell you what to do. You'll know how to handle it as long as you know to trust your body in that moment. And as a note, I guess, I'll also link the grief video because I did address a bit of this in my channeling about grief. I mean, it sucks. Obviously, it's never going to be easy experiencing pain and crisis, but I really enjoy those periods of crisis in my life because of how raw it leaves me. And that rawness perpetuates almost as like an excuse to do whatever the fuck. That rawness, that real, oh well, fuck. Time is changing. Something is happening in front of me that I don't know how to handle. I feel so scared that I actually don't know what my next move is. I may as well just be in the moment. You know, that's what grief and crises always invite of me. And I really enjoy that. And I've learned how to appreciate it so that while I am obviously still very afraid of grief, crisis, death, experiencing ailments, all of that, and of that of my loved ones, I know firstly that it's something that's simply going to happen. It's part of the deal of life. And I also know that everything is temporary, time passes. And again, at the end of the day, like I've said, all is well and we will always return to God. Um, we are being dangled over a cliff. Oh, that meme of a hand, a big hand, and a person standing in front of that hand, and the cliff beyond that hand, and all of those things labeled God. That's essentially what's happening right now, and God's gonna flick us right the fuck off this cliff, and there's no choice about it. We're not this. If you, again, the great pattern, if you look at it all and the way everything is playing out, this is something some version of you really wanted. So, and there's no, excuse me, there is no, I know I said there is no, but now I've forgotten my train of thought. The point is that we are prepared for this. That's the point. That's the ultimate point. We have all the tools we need. And like I've said in previous readings, because our bodies, our bodies are so deeply intelligent. They are so deeply intelligent. And I guess we can think of it as though like our minds have the programmings that place judgment on our reality. This is the magnet. They place the this is the magnet actually. They work together. Anyway, this places the judgment on our living reality. On our body's level, which is where our heart sits, there is no judgment. There is complete neutrality, and it's through that neutrality that we are always connected to divinity, divine consciousness. So on a cellular level inside our bodies, we are always connected. It's our minds that blocks all of the ways in which we can be fully connected. But on the body's level, we are always connected. So if you can just recall that in every moment of potential crisis, or you don't know what's going on, or things may be overwhelming for you, you'll find the answer. It really always happens that way. And it's part of the thing that we're shedding about this living reality. It's mind-blowing when you sit and think about how well they've programmed us away from our intelligence. You are totally allowed to surrender. You will not be seen as irresponsible if you decide to do something perceived as impulsive. All of the rules are gone now. The veil has been gone. With that veil falls the structures, all of the rules of the old world. It's all gone. Everything is completely gone. We are looking at a very blank canvas now as a global collective, and it's very, very scary. And that fear that is untended to, that is also what's floating around. And again, like I'd mentioned in previous readings, can cause projections and really, really crazy shit to go down. Because of people's just lack of ability to surrender and not understanding how far they can control their reality, etc., etc. So just hopefully you can remember all of this and remember your truth, because all of this of what I'm saying is nothing new. This is not anything that this is not special information. This is something we are all very we are built to understand this innately. I don't even have to be saying so many words. We get it. We just totally get it. You cannot distinguish emotions if you haven't experienced every range and kind of them. So this is natural. Exactly. Absolutely. And this is part of what we're being gifted right now. Thank you so much for that comment. It's me again. This is part of the gift of what's happening right now. And it's part of why there's nothing to fear at all. This is amazing. It's actually, it's really magical, miraculous. We are living in the purpose of life, not just each of our individual purposes of life. What we are in right now as a human evolution, this point of our evolutionary process is the point of life. It's the point of evolution. It's the point of everything. We're at the tip of the needle of all of existence of all time. It's mind-blowing. And something that David mentioned in the video that I'll link, that sounds simple, and is actually very simple if you just give yourself time to be still, even if it's just for a minute. If you sit and you tap into that emotion and you sit and genuinely ask yourself, how do you feel? You will get the energetic reverberational response back of how actually you feel calm, you feel blissful, you feel at peace. That is actually that is what I believe is a frequency that's been available to all of us. And then to extend on the miraculousness I was talking about, if you sit and you ask for this miraculousness to speak, to give you a sense of what it is, just a sense of it, because remember, there's no words. This is a feeling. If you sit in the stillness and you ask, show me how, give me a feeling of how magical it is to be alive right now. Give the emotion, let it sit in my heart, let it grow within me. Give yourself a minute to sit in that silence and let your senses and even all of life to respond back to you. You will get a response. You absolutely will. And that magic of intent, of input and output with all of life is what needs to be utilized right now to keep yourself at a frequency in which you will be able to pull in everything you have deserved this entire time, through all of the trauma and the bullshit that your soul agreed to suffer through. There was a specific way of heavenly, blissful living that you have deserved since that your soul knew is the reason why you came alive. We just need to achieve that level of feeling and of understanding the feeling and of passing through the feeling we want and knowing the not feeling of what we don't want. We've just needed to feel it, and then everything falls in by itself. It's what I was saying in the last live reading, where I was trying to say that we have never needed to work hard. We have never needed to work hard. The hard work has been the inner work of staying grounded and connected to our inner light and our inner truth. I hope this helped. I hope this helps. I hope this invites a dialogue within you and amongst your community, and even with me, should you feel called. I am so openly available via social media to conversate about this. There's so much going on. There will be a lot going on into the future. We keep reaching, again, like I said in the beginning of this, we keep reaching new normals where you can feel on a very indescribable level that what was is never going to be again. We are moving very, very forward and very, very quickly, even though sometimes it feels like it's very slow. We are shooting through our ascension process. We're doing a really, really, really great job. Really exciting shit happening right now. Even if there's nothing changing for you outside, know, again, like I've said, you are doing really, really brilliant work. And thank you so much. Not just, in general, thank you thank you for everything. For every tear that you've cried and every pain that you felt, every heartache that you have pushed through, that you alchemized and you used to teach yourself about hope and even about the darkness. Thank you for being fearless and still looking ahead. That is incredible. Thank you for still being alive. That's another thing that may strike a lot of our hearts in these coming seasons. No longer wanting to be alive is a very reasonable sensation. The hopelessness, it makes sense. And I've made plenty of, well, I actually don't know. I've done readings and mentioned lightly in those plenty readings about honoring that feeling within everyone. We all know it. And chances are, if you resonate with me, then you have your own battles with it and you get it. You get how difficult it is to come back from that feeling and to resist it. Thank you for doing that. That is a very quiet and very fucking difficult fight. And that you're still fighting, it's the greatest miracle of all time. Your inner world, the way that you are and who you are, is an absolute miracle. And keep going, because life, I swear I wish I had actual things. Thank you. Exactly. And the song by the Jackson 5, Can You Feel It? That is the vibe. That's the vibe. Exactly. Thank you for that comment. It's me again. Your inner world is a miracle. The whole of everything that you've done is an absolute miracle. Keep holding out and keep going, and expect with every fiber of your being, expect a return of that miracle. Expect life to show you exactly what a miracle you are. That's it. That's all I've got. Very, very just yes times. Just yes. But the yes, just don't give up. Don't give up. That's all I've got. Yeah, I'm not going to pull cards. That's really, really all I have. And I will see you the next time I stream. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. From every single thing and from all of life, just thanks, just thank you so much, for real.